This is the Levels Network. I am Justin Horo, joined by the Triple OG, Willie Mason. Mace,
what's happening?
This is round 26 review time, brother.
Crazy.
Enjoy your footy over the weekend?
I did, man. It's been enjoyable the last sort of month, I suppose. It's gone quick. It's round 26 already. We started this journey obviously 26 rounds ago.
Yep. Week before the season started, I think we got the preview done for round one, and we got it going. And
man.
only a round to go, but it feels like some players in particular are hanging on, which is one of the biggest topics that we'll get to. Yeah. I've got plays in doubt or out for round 27 and beyond.
It's a marathon, not a sprint.
We've got YouTube questions. I want to thank everyone that has registered in the email list at levelsnetwork.com.au. Lukey posted our hats. They're going to be available very soon for Collection 1. You will get first access to that merchandise on that collection, so make sure you sign up. Also, the subscribers, mate, 16.1k at the moment, travelling nicely. We will get 20k by the end of the year for sure.
Yeah. By the end of the final series, I reckon.
End of the final series, yeah.
Definitely, when the Pacific Cup and all that kind of stuff, all the tests are on. Definitely.
We got a massive jump after our vlog. That's doing really well. People in New Zealand are loving it.
Yeah.
Well, not only people in New Zealand, people all around are loving it. 41,000 views.
Crazy.
That's
mad.
That's mad. That's why you do it, right? Like,
even the little one when I said was, because they got me saying was, right? And it was legit. Fuck you, Lukey. when I said to Rubes, I was like, up the was when they scored. And I was like,
you didn't realise you did it?
I legit said was. And I'm like, fucking Warriors. I'm like,
you're all in on it.
So it was organic. But that was like, what, 70? I'm not, I don't give a fuck about numbers. Like 70,000 views on our Insta. That's crazy.
Yes. Yeah.
Crazy.
No, it's the support's been great. And not that it necessarily doesn't matter with the views if you go over and have such a good time like we did, but it's nice to because there is work involved with doing it as well. There's hard earned. There's money from the company that we put in through our relationships and our partners, the Tab, that allowed us to do it with the golf episode that we filmed with the Warriors boys. So it's nice to get the rewards of the views. Like it almost feels like.
And actually New Zealand embracing Levels Network, man. Like we're going over there, we're getting into the inner sanctum of things, and the Warriors coming over doing podcasts and like going down the sheds and all that kind of stuff. It was mad.
It was awesome.
It was awesome, yeah.
19.7k on Insta, getting to that 20k just around the corner. We'll have that by the weekend, I reckon. A few big posts coming up with some really crucial games that are not only going to decide the top 8, the top 4, and whether some teams are on Mad Mondays.
It's crazy.
So a really big week coming up. Mace, this has been big for me. The protein shakes, the ready-to-drink vanilla and chocolate shakes, as I did 30k of the best yesterday in preparation for the Sydney
Nothing
Marathon.
but respect there. 30k.
I was in a dark place, and straight after, there was nothing better than smacking
Did you do it a couple?
30 grams of protein.
Yeah, you did.
I only had the one. I wish I had 2 in the car. I needed it big time. I jumped straight from 21k because of
It's part of the program, right?
We've had a program, right? But because of the last couple of weeks with the travelling to Queenstown and then to Auckland, I've probably missed like 2 or 3 runs in the lead up to it. So I jumped straight from 21k to 30k. I was supposed to go 25 to 30.
Right.
It's made me reassess what my goal is for the Sydney Marathon. My goal now is to finish.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It got you that hard?
I was in a dark place. So I got to about the 16k mark. My hips started feeling sore. Whether that's to do with the travel, some of the other training that I've been doing, a bit of golf, and then like you said, you invited me down to the E-Lab and probably need to do more flexibility and stretching. I was really the last 5K, I was in a bit of a dark place.
Yeah.
It was all about pain tolerance, really.
It's probably it's going to come down to it, right? You got another 12K on top of that. So it's going to be a real mental fuck. And I reckon you'll do it easy because you're strong mentally, but that just made you realise, hey, you're dancing with the devil there.
It's not easy.
Yeah, not hard. It's not easy.
Sometimes when you say 42K, you think, it's going to be tough, but then you're like, No, that was a big run yesterday. So shout out to Youngie, Nick Youngquest. He got me through it.
How'd he go? How'd Youngie go?
He's good. Youngie's done multiple marathons, so he's all sorted. You can find these protein shakes currently available in Coles, online at bodyscience.com.au, and in independent supplement retailers. And Mace, I'll tell you what, after that 42K, I have about 3 of these ready to go straight after the race. The great debate is over. AFL got us.
Yeah.
Won comfortably.
Yeah, it's sort of like I'm not mad at that. It should be, right? As I said,
Well,
look at the numbers don't lie. The numbers don't lie, Hollis, you know, like the membership, the views and everything like that. It's in WA, it's in South Australia. Like we've been to South Australia, no one gives a fuck about league there. They turn up for Origin. Come on, everyone does. But WA's massive, Northern Territory, like, you know, it's a big part of Australia there, and they love AFL. We're a top 3 sport.
Yeah, we're top 3.
We're top 3 easy.
We're top 3 easy.
Top 2.
Top 2.
It's AFL and NRL.
And us, yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I mean, cricket, yeah, but cricket's more worldwide.
And cricket, I reckon cricket, respectfully to a couple of my Usman Khawaja, former schoolmate.
Westfield?
High school. Yeah, Westfield.
Yeah, the Us.
Uzi. I reckon if cricket, I mean, just, you know, weather aside, and we all played at the same time, there'd be more people watching NRL and AFL than cricket. There you go.
Yeah,
there's a statement for you.
I believe you.
But cricket gets it by, you know, you get NFL and NBA on while cricket's on, and cricket's on at a good part of the day, and you can sit there during the holidays. Nothing better than watching a Boxing Day test.
Boxing Day test, I get it, but 2020 didn't come along, man. They would have lost a lot of people. Everyone was over that shit. IPL saved it.
Do you want to get into some YouTube questions?
Go, bro.
All right, the first one is from Osbra Dave. Question for the podcast. Parramatta has been facing problems on both wings for over 5 years, with the wingers frequently rushing in, leading to opponents scoring on the wing. Players like Fergo, Sevo, Russell, Wanga, as in Wanga Blake, and others have been part of the issue. I'd say Sean Russell's probably been the better defender out of all of them on the right edge. Is the root of the problem in the system, or does it lie with the players? Either the centre or the wing? There's been a lot of talk that it comes down to players, but the issue has persisted for years with various wingers. What's your take on this? Love your work, boys.
That's a good question, because if you go back to the Fergies and stuff, like Fergie had everything down pat, the play twos, everything in the air. He couldn't do it. He couldn't pick a fault in his game, right? Then you look at defence and you're like, what the fuck?
How was he defensively at the Roosters? He was sound, wasn't he?
He was sound, so it's the system.
Yeah,
it is the system. It's the defensive system, because he didn't fuck up at the Roosters at all. He was never just in no man's land where you never want to be as a winger. He found himself in there, like coming up in no man's land all the time against Parramatta. So it's obviously a system thing, and I've never seen a team like get caught on the right edge so many times like that.
Yeah,
even like
I would say Parramatta.
You've been in that system, right? So what is it? It's like obviously you work up, come up, and then slide to the sideline and work together. Like I've never seen them get done. Like just say like a couple of times where Fergie got done. Just say you're pressing them, right? You've got them in their 40. You are not coming up and in and try and smash everyone. You've got to come up and then slide to the sideline, right?
Yeah.
In some parts, right?
How many times has it felt like, specifically during Fergie's years, where there was like a 2-man overlap?
Felt that all the time.
So there's been 2 common denominators throughout this whole period, which is interesting as well, because Brad Arthur is one of my favourite coaches.
Right.
But there's no denying he's been head coach for the entire time of these deficiencies on both edges. I think Micah's probably, the left edge has probably been a little bit better than the right. But they've still had issues at times for sure. And then the other mainstay is Mitch Moses. He's been the only. I think there was a time. I think when Penasini first come in, he fixed up that right edge originally, but again, at certain parts of the year, that right edge has been pulled apart as well. Whether it's been Russell, whether it's been, I think at stages they had Wonga Blake play right wing as well. So I think it's a mixture of. A Mitch Moses, Brad Arthur problem. Like they've had to, whatever it may be, because what we're saying there before with regards to Blake Ferguson, I can't remember Fergie being a bad defender at Canberra or the Roosters.
Yeah, he just got exposed because of the fact that they're all on different pages, right?
Yeah.
From the right 4 to the right 3, from the right 3 to the right 2 to the winger. They're all on different pages. and it all happens from the middle. The middle needs to be have more communication with the right four. He needs to communicate. And who's the right four for
the right, see, but you can't really blame the right four.
No, I'm not blaming him, but I'm just saying, like, he needs to communicate a lot with the middles. The middles need to come up, put pressure on, needs to release the four-man, then he can release Moses and so on.
Yeah,
that's how it happens. But you go up, so you can't have a four-man. It's the hardest position to defend on the field, the right four, because you need to rely on your middles to drag that one middle over who's not a rookie, who's been a vet, who understands inside pressure, and not go off the line sideways, come up, hunt, all that kind of stuff. You've got to pick that one dude out, right? If you're the right four, you've played right four. You're not picking a rookie or a kid who doesn't know how to move properly. You're going to pick a vet, aren't you? You're going to come over like one of the vets that you played with.
For me, it never really mattered who it was, but I had to communicate to them.
You've got to communicate with this guy.
But I would communicate to a rookie, obviously, more than I would communicate to you. So if I seen you there, Mace, here we go, we're on, this is the shape, whatever.
And I'll just say, I got inside, go.
For sure. But if it was a rookie, I'm screaming, going, fucking Jakey.
Who you got?
Remember when Jakey was coming through? Jakey's one of the best defenders now. He's elite.
Yeah,
but at the time, as a rookie, I'm probably going, Jakey, this is your role. Watch the front runner, whatever.
Yeah.
So I would say it's a combination for me of both Brad and Mitch over the years. And I think Moses' defence has improved outside the last couple of years in terms of getting his body in front. But yeah, it's always been an issue over on the right side.
It's weird.
And like I said, I love Brad. Brad was my favourite ever coach that I ever had. Yeah. But he hasn't been able to fix it. So I don't know whether it's a structure problem that or it's the personnel with Mitchie being there that's led to it. I've never been able to figure it out watching it as well, because I've seen it multiple times and I've attacked it with my
feels like just say with a three-man, they can fuck up a whole edge, right? If your three-man is not on the same page, he can make your centre and the four-man look awful.
Yes.
Because they get in this selfish little bit, because back rolls are trying to hit inside and outside of their shoulders, they try and come up and solve one problem, which causes another two or three. So the centre might be coming up, he might be going out, then the winger doesn't communicate with the centre, and he finds himself either trying to jam too early or sit back and the ball goes over his head, and it all comes back from the three-man. It does. So you can all sit it on there, because if he knows what he's doing, he's communicating with his four-man, four-man's communicating with whatever middle, and they move. But if that three-man turns in, Penasini's got to turn in. Fergie's got to turn in. And if he goes out, everyone comes up and holds. It's a fucking shit show if the three-man doesn't know what's going on.
Yeah, and Fergie's the last player, so he's the one that cops all the blame.
Yes, so he cops it all the time, and like whoever's the right winger will just sit there going, what the fuck? As soon as that three-man makes his move, then Penasini, so he has to follow what Penasini's doing. So whoever's that winger at the moment now, he's just following what the centre's doing. Penasini's not coming in and him going out, but sometimes they are. They're always got to follow each other. Sometimes, only sometimes.
Yeah.
Especially online, because they try and get at Moses all the time. And everyone tries to get at that right three all the time. Left side, back rolls, inside and out. They just fucking hardest position to defend. Then the right four's got to protect him. What do you think Tony Carroll protected Darren Lockyer for fucking 10 years? Because no one wanted to run into that inside hole.
Yeah, you're right. Tony Carroll, the best ever.
Best ever. One of the best ever.
Wayne Bennett was always really big on a defensive right edge.
You had to protect Lockyer, protect the asset.
Bo Scott's and
Bo Scott, one of the best. Like, all these guys
used to look after Sally. Yeah.
So every time, like the best right four in the game is probably, who is it?
Liam Martin.
Liam Martin. Yeah. He's a dog because he comes up, he attacks the lead runners, you go out the back, he reads the plays really well, gets the good middles. He's got Fisher Harris and all these sort of guys. He let him loose, come up, attack the middles, and he can just sit there and make big plays. Yeah. And he saves Cleary's a good defender too.
Well, Cleary's the best half defender in the competition, I reckon. So I would say another better example of a really good right four. Who looks
Matt Gillette was one of the best. Sorry. And the Juice,
Felice. Yeah. Felice really looks after O'Sullivan and Katoa, whoever ends up defending on that edge.
Because if you're a ball player and you're trying to skim across the Juice and he's coming, and that back row is just going, he's going to go out the back. You're going to make him, or you're going to make him pass early. And then O'Sullivan's going, boom. You put Sullivan in another team and he gets exposed big time.
You're not a fan of SOS?
No, not a good defender.
Yeah,
he's a fucking toilet. But I'm just saying, like he's not a strong defender. He's got fucking Kafusi in there breaking ribs.
Mate, how good would it be to be a half? Just
you sit back and go quick inside pressure.
A bit of Cheriaco.
Anyway, it's very hard.
I don't think we solved your problem there. And
we can't go drop Moses.
I don't think Brad Arthur's been able to solve it for the last couple of years. But, yeah, it's definitely a problem at Parramatta. So something...
Communication. We put all down to communication.
Needs to improve in the off-season for sure. The next one's from David Parfitt, talking about Ilias finding it hard to succeed due to the big characters around him. I kind of think of Stacey Jones, who, for the first 4 years of his career, never really put a stamp on the team because he was always seemed a little reticent to... Reticent, that's a good word. Is that
even a word?
Reticent to direct those
Reluctant?
around him. Yeah, maybe it's been an autocorrect. Reticent. I've never heard reticent before.
Not in that context.
Even if he would have moments of absolute brilliance in that time. When the club collapsed in 2000 and they cleared out any of the big names... other than him, and basically build a team around, the
team of kids.
Team of kids around him. The grammar's awful on this one. He started to stamp his authority on the team and became one of the comp's dominant halves in an era of some really legendary halves. Sometimes a young half just needs to be the top dog in order to really hit their straps rather than just being a part.
No,
it's not the worst take.
No, I mean, I just don't think Stacey Jones was in that position where Ilias has got he's got 3 or 4 of the most dominant players in the comp at the moment.
Well,
Jones.
So when my dad played with Stacey when he was coming through 96, 97, he had either Matty Ridge. So the first year was Greg Alexander. The second was Matty Ridge. But apart from that, I can't really remember.
No, dominant.
It was him and Gene Namu, wasn't it?
Yeah,
for a lot of the time.
Yeah.
And then, can you remember late 90s into the 2000s? Who would have been the fullback?
It was Gene Namu and Matty Ridge, wasn't it?
It was Matty Ridge for a lot of that time. Matty Ridge would have been a dominant player, but nowhere near to the level of Latrell and Cody.
No. I mean, I don't mind the take, but it's just it's totally different.
The take of taking time, as in like Stacey was a young,
you're talking 4 or 5 years.
Player.
4 or 5 years.
It took him a while to develop. I think that's a good take.
It's his 3rd year.
Yeah.
Just give him time to get these combinations working, and you've got to earn these guys' trust.
Yes.
You've got to earn Cody's trust to get the ball in crucial plays when we're on the 4th tackle and we're on the right side of the post. If you want to go down that short side, you better fucking pull the trigger right.
Yeah.
All right? Because we've got it all set up here on the left, and it's trusted, right? It works.
Like, you've got the runs on the board.
You've got the runs on the board. So this kid, like Ilias probably knows he's better than anyone. I've got to fucking earn my stripes. I can't just come out of the blocks like this and demand the ball, like all the lion's share of the ball. And I don't think he does.
Do you think he fears making a mistake?
Fucking oath he does. We said this last week.
Yeah.
Shitting himself. And that just takes the confidence out of the kid.
Yeah.
And there's no way that in the next 2 or 3 years he's going to be that dude, because Cody's going to be there and so is Latrell. And we just want to see him develop. And I think he's developing quite well.
Yes, so
comes in and out of. Let's not be so harsh on this kid. Comes in and out of the team where he's like not even the top 5 option.
Yeah.
You know, so like you just got to give him some time, and then hopefully he develops and learns from these vets, and then it's going to be his team one day.
They're similar in the sense, I don't know if you've met Lockie before. I've met him.
He's a good kid. I met his dad.
Yeah, I've met him playing golf a couple of times. He's a very reserved guy. Yeah. Even Stacey, right? We met Stacey on.
Bro, he's the most humble superstar of the game.
So humble, so quiet. So sometimes those halves that are a little bit more reluctant, or their personalities aren't the Joeys of the world.
They're not
the Mitchie, even Mitchie, right?
They're not dominant personalities.
Mitchie
right?
Pearce, I remember, as a kid, even when he was coming through, I think you would have played in his early years of his career. Pearcey was really respectful, but he was a dog when it come to getting on the field and attacking the game. So sometimes it takes a while to build that in.
It's a while, man. Took JT a while.
Yep.
You know did it? Took JT about four. He debuted in 2002, so 2, 3, 4.
Was that because it's just Sherwin and Asta in front of him?
Yeah, but he's quiet-natured, right?
Okay.
His leadership, so he had a couple of, you had myself there, Mark O'Mealy and Steve Price and Andrew Ryan and Braithen Asta. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you had all these guys playing at a fairly high level all the time, and this young kid comes.
Did he debut 2002?
Yeah, 02.
I didn't know
that. So you had Roy Asatasi, then the Sonny Bills and all that sort of stuff coming through the same sort of time he come through, but he come through earlier.
Yeah.
So, because we always knew he was just some sort of talent. Like he come through, we didn't know what sort of position he was going to play. Everyone was saying he's too small. And all
so did he just play 14 for all those years, for those 3 years before he won a grand final and took off?
Yeah, he was playing 7, played 6 a couple of times when Shifty or Braith was sort of out, and then he pushed Braith to lock a couple of times with Travis Norton being out. Yeah. Sort of we fucked around with it a fair bit, trying to find his space. But like his personality-wise, he's not a dominant person like he is the back end of like the JT that you see, the polished JT 2010 onwards.
2 or 3 years into Cowboys, he was dominant.
You know, like he's captain. They didn't want the captaincy up there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because he's
wasn't his
he developed into that. And you're talking nearly a 10-year development of being the captain, not the player. The player was there.
Who that reminds me of? I reckon that reminds me more of like what Caelan's turning into now. I reckon Caelan as a skipper and a younger player wouldn't have naturally taken to. He's the best player in the team, so they made him the captain. But I think now Caelan, with the decision that he's made and the leadership that he's showing now in Newcastle, that's starting to come across.
Got to own it and be about it.
He can have that sort of. Not saying that he'll be like a JT. He's got potential.
Mate, what about the talent-wise is ridiculous, bro. Put him around, get the requisite sort of people around, like positional players around him. Yeah. Get those players around him.
JT had a few misdemeanors like early on, right? Like KP's had his own dramas.
I don't even talk about that shit.
JT had a couple, but people forget that, right? Because he put together 12 solid years of being a fucking angel.
People forget, man. But people forget about the shit what happened when we were younger. Everyone just all of a sudden grows into these fathers and husbands and Channel 9 fucking commentators and all these proper people. You forget about the journey. Tell you who doesn't forget about the journey? JT, Joey, all these guys, because they're still knock-around blokes. The public forget about it, right? These guys are normal people, as normal as they can fucking be. They're superstars, they've got flaws, they've done this, But it was a part of society back then where it fucking happened. Or if it's not recorded, it didn't happen, right? Especially now. You know what I'm saying? A lot of shit didn't happen. Wendell hit me on, I think I showed a clip of Johnny Schuster, right? Yeah. He was carving up back in like 94 or something, and he hit Rocket Silver with a mad right foot. Yeah. And I tagged Rocket in there, said, what about the defense, blah, blah, blah. And then Wendell hit me, goes, mad, just like I got you in 2000. So I said, no footage, bro. Didn't happen. But he hit me with a mad left foot, went 90 and scored. Yeah, I was a young kid, probably 6 games into my career. Prime Dell, 2000. Boom, boom, hit me with a bang, bang.
You can't find it anywhere?
I hope it's fucking not there. Because it's fucking bang.
Well, now that you've put it in the universe,
I know, but
he
took it to the house. Yeah. Took it to the house. And he knows, he goes, just like you. And I was like, no footage didn't happen. Anyway, so that's what people always see now. It's just like, that's what society is. But,
Yeah, anyway. Good question. Lockie will develop. Big game coming up against the Roosters this weekend for sure. Next one's from Freddie Flack. Hey, boys, love the potty. I've listened to everyone since day one. Nice. L1 from day one. If you look at Melbourne's game day squad, they rarely name 1 to 17 at kickoff. With that said, which coach had the strangest game plans in your days? I remember Sheens would put an outside back on the bench in the late 2000s, early 2010s. Was that Fitzhenry? Is that who he used to put on the bench?
Yeah, he did.
Was it Fitzhenry? Like the winger?
Sheensy. You know the worst.
And sometimes puts like Bo and Moulton on the bench, guys like that.
He was weird like Tim Sheens. But I think the weirdest was, Brian Smith. I never got fucked around like that. The coaches I had were like straight up. It was 1 to 17. It was like that.
Did you have Smitty?
No, but like I heard there was back in the day, this was before they started playing all these sort of little mind games. So he'd warm up 19 or 20 players, right? This one, Jason Kalis left and went to the Roosters, right? Yeah. So they'd warm up. They would warm up the night before, Friday night. He'd get named as the starter, right? Or someone or Chad Robinson, God rest his soul. Yeah. He'd be named as starters or in the 17. And then do the warm up and then get tapped like, you're not playing. I'm going to put boom, boom in it, someone else and someone else. And that would fuck with my head so badly. Heavy. I just did the warm up. I've been thinking I'm starting all week. But then it was just like, because he wanted the element of like that, that tactic, right? And we're looking at.
If the player knew, he could tell his family, he could be disgruntled, he could get over to the opposite team. So I'd imagine he's keeping it on the low to the very last minute, so the other team couldn't prepare for it.
But it's not like you're hiding Sonny Bill, or like a freakish player. You're just putting another sort of player that could play another position. We're like, fuck, thank God Jason Kalis ain't playing. Yeah, do you know what I mean? You put this other guy in there that's like a fucking toiler. Yeah. It didn't really, but I know that's a fact. Like Andrew Ryan used to say it. Like Bobcat was like, he was one of them. Bobcat, he fucked with Bobcat a fair bit. Willie Tonga, he did it to Tong. Everyone his brain wise. Smart, probably too smart for himself. Yes, but they reckon Brian Smith used to fuck around with shit like that. I never did personally. Like I was either starting, come off the bench, knew what I was doing.
Never happened to me in my career.
Fucking done. Yeah. But I know that's what's the name? Fucking jeez, I had a brain. Fucking
Brian
coach.
Smith?
Yeah, no, Melbourne coach. Fucking
Bellamy.
Yeah. You got 21 players now.
Yes.
So you can name 21, 22 players, can't you? So you got an hour before the game, right?
Yeah, and their changes wouldn't be a surprise to the players.
No.
all the players would know by captain's run who's going to be in the team. Yeah. It wouldn't be.
The difference was the Brian Smith one, tap after the warm up, knowing that you're starting.
Well, I had a story from Richie Farso. We've got to get Richie on the OGs.
He's a legend,
We'll get him on a group podcast. Yeah. He's got some of the best stories of all time. But Richie said he caught him when they were maybe coaching him at Newcastle. It would have been Newcastle just before. And he reckons he caught him about 11 p.m. one night before a game. And goes, it was the better part of it, right? He's like, how you feeling? Fuss is like, because Fuss was on the bench. Fuss is like, oh, yeah, pretty good. Like, fuck, this is weird. Coach is calling me at 11 p.m. night before a game. He goes, you think you're up to start? Fuss is like, what? Yeah, whatever. Like, you want me to go? I'm ready to go. And he goes, okay. All right, I'll see you tomorrow. And there was no definitive answer. Yeah. And then he was in the run-on team the next day, but he had no idea going into the game. And then, obviously someone gets the tap on the shoulder. I think, did Smitty drop Frank Paul Nuasala in the grand final in 2010?
No, I don't think so. I think Frankie played, I think. I'm not sure. No,
who did he drop completely out of the team? Because, he dropped Frank to the bench or out. Because
that's some weird shit,
You know why? Lapini Paya started.
Right, well, you're probably right.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas.
Speaking of Vegas, we'll be going to Vegas for sure.
Yeah, but he's renowned for that. Yeah. If you talk to anyone because that was my era. That was my era. The whole the 2000s all the way through. Like that was his era.
Imagine if they pulled that shit on you on a grand final.
Ah, you think
Lukey, can you have a look at what the final
team?
Yeah, Lukey's looking at it now. We'll get through the next one, and then when Lukey lets us know, we'll come back to it. I will also say another Roosters coach I thought had one of the weirdest game plans of all time was when Chris Anderson brought in the one marker.
We fucking love that.
That was the worst season of all time.
Yeah, 07, yeah. It was just before I got there.
The next one's from Mitchell Taylor, I think, or Mitchell Taylor. I'd imagine that's Mitchell without the H for some reason. Lads. Mitchell. Lads, love your work. Question, when you boys were playing, who would you rather run out beside in a grand final? A player who is an unreal talent and could break the game open himself, but his attitude is toxic around camp.
Oh, shit.
And the team doesn't really like how he carries himself. Yeah. Or a player who was 20% less of a talent but a genuine good bugger and would do anything for you on and off the field. Appreciate it, lads. Who are you going with, the talent or the better bloke?
Toxic around camp, is he saying? Like but the best player?
Toxic energy, probably into himself a little bit more, I'd say. This
is all hypotheticals, right?
Yeah,
because that really never happens. I'd get the player and get the best out of him. As a player.
Okay.
Like, so give me the talent and I'll control it. Toxicity.
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
Easily. Because you get those blokes, man.
Yeah.
I haven't played with many, but like someone like you're a fuckwit off the field. I'm not going to hang with you, and we're not going to be mates after I finish playing.
But you can figure a way to play.
But I can figure out to play with them.
Yeah,
and we always did. But it was rare. Like I can't even really name guys. It's probably on like just New South Wales teams or like Australian teams where you're like, fuck, I don't really like you at all. And I probably won't like you.
Was that just because of strong rivalries that you had against each other, or were they actually fucking lemons? They were lemons.
I thought it would be just because it was on the field. Yeah. I'm like,
and then you met him.
And I met him. I'm like, yeah, no wonder I don't like this fuckwit. You know what I mean? Like I'm right. You know what I mean? Because usually I'm like, I'd think they'd probably think that about me, but then I'd like to think, oh, he's not a bad bloke.
I reckon you won more people over there.
Yeah.
I reckon people would have gone into camp going, Mace is a fuckwit.
Fuck, I can't believe I'm going Kangaroo Tour, this wanker. And then we're best mates by the end of it, right? And then, but some of them you're like, you're fucking staying in that corner.
Yeah.
And you're not going to name anyone, but there's some guys there. And even now you're just like, not my cup of tea.
I'll go with the 20% less talent because I reckon no matter what, like I've always had a lot of love for all my teammates. I just love going to battle. I couldn't care less how talent obviously is important, but I just want to know I can fucking trust the guy.
If it's a grand final, but I'm going with the talent.
Yeah, grand final, you probably need the talent, but I think
week in, week out. Just say if we break that question, just say week in, week out
for an entire season,
pre-season, everything.
Yeah,
I think I'm fucking the talent off because I can't deal with the prick.
Yeah.
And I think the club will end up getting rid of him.
Well,
if he's that toxic. If you're saying toxic, you're saying, hey, there's only a few out there that can ruin a fucking club.
But in saying that, you're not going to get a player just for a grand final, right? So you've got to deal with him for the rest of the year. So.
Yeah, well, I'm probably going to go with that guy who just loves the game, loves the players, loves the club, and will do anything. And you probably and probably get him up 20% for those games.
Yep. You know who I think you're talking about? Actually, no, he's talent. He's got both. He's got talent and he's a good dude. And that is your Body Science dog moment of the week. Who's your dog? This is a bit different,
Mace.
Mace.
It's a bit different.
I asked Mace who his dog of the week was. He goes, I don't have a dog of the week. I've got a dog moment of the week. What is it, Mace?
Yeah, I love it. I think everyone just gets it. It's like Joey Tarpanay's hit on Walsh. It's like fucking... I watched it was in the last 15 seconds and I'm like, I was about to turn it off, you know? I was just like, it's game over, you know, fucking fair game. And bang, Walshy thought he pulled a like, oh, I'm injured. Like, you know, Tarps is just going to go easy on him. Yeah. He hit him with like, you know what? And you know why I think?
It was the best hit of the weekend.
He's never going to fucking get hold of Walsh like that ever in his career. And if you're a big guy, and because he's splitting teams apart, Walsh. I reckon Tarps like, and he plays to the end of the...
Walshy split them apart in that game.
That's what I'm saying.
79 minutes and 40 seconds.
But I'm saying that, and he goes, well, I'm never going to get him again, so here's a try. If you want to give me a free shot, I'm going to get it.
Yeah.
And I think Walshy probably regrets going, fuck, I shouldn't have done that to him.
Walshy took it well.
Yeah, he did. I respect that.
All the melee that come over, people come and pull Tarps off. Like
he'll know what happens next time.
They walked around and they dabbed each other up, and Walsh had a smile on his face.
I don't think he'll ever do that again. Do that if like Sam Walker or O'Sullivan, like a half is near you. Don't you do that to a front rower.
If that was Sam Walker, it would have broke him in half.
Yeah, I know, but I'm saying like if Sam Walker's coming at you like that and you can fake an injury, do it to halves. Yeah. Little tip, don't do it to front rowers because we will fucking attack you because you know why? We can't get you. Yeah. It's like Matty, I don't think I'd do that to Mango back in the day, but like maybe Kangaroo Tour went on him and we bonded. I'm like, I would get Mango like that.
Sorry, was that Lukey?
Mango.
Oh, Mango.
Matty Bowen. Sorry, Matty Bowen. So Matty Bowen, like he used to do that and carve us up so bad. I'll be thinking if he did that to me, I'm like, maybe I'd take Mango's ribs out.
Well, someone brought up the example of Joey Manu last year playing the Dragons.
And he carved up.
I don't think he did it intentionally, but he cramped up for a sec, then they sort of stopped, and then he took off and went through and scored, set up a try.
He set a try up. So that's the other result. If Joey Tarps doesn't play like that.
Play through the whistle.
Play the whistle.
Yep, I love it. My Body Science dog of the week is Joseph Akuso Swali'i. 23 runs for 248 metres, 82 post-contact metres, 8 tackle breaks, 2 line breaks, 2 line break assists, and a piece of meat. Mace, this is Joseph Swali'i's best performance of the year.
Yeah.
Well, at least since he's made the decision, actually, for the year, I'd say, even before he made the decision.
Oh, easily.
And no surprises, it's at fullback.
What does that say?
He's a fullback, eh? He's going to go. I think there are, over the probably past 10 weeks since he's made the decision, he's copped a fair bit of heat early on. And then I reckon there were people within the NRL that were looking at what was happening with the Roosters and going, you know what, you can have him.
Yeah,
there would have been, those sorts of.
It's all hype. It's all hype. Like he's not,
rugby union are wasting their money. Joseph Swali'i is going to get to rugby union and play fullback, and I reckon he's going to kill him.
That's scary, man.
Yeah.
The skill set is scary. He just hasn't had the opportunity to play fullback and to play there for like 80 minutes.
When was the last time? Samoa World Cup final.
And he was probably, if you're naming you're starting 13, he's probably going to make that team. So
of the World Cup,
yeah, he's in there somewhere. But that just shows you the talent. The talent set is crazy. He moved to fullback, right? I think he was.
He did. Joey Manu got injured.
Joey got injured, so he goes there, and then then I was like, wow, he's dangerous when he has options, right?
Yeah.
Because he's on the right side of the field or the left. You sort of you shut down half the field, right? More.
Yeah.
Now you give him the ball and he can go right, left, like he can attack wherever he wants. That's fucking scary.
Yeah. And I thought his passing's improved out of sight compared to last year when he filled in for Teddy when Teddy went down in the Rabbitohs game, I think it was. Yeah, it was when Tom Burgess got him. And even in the World Cup, like as good as his stats were in the World Cup, his passing probably wasn't as crisp. He's got a nice offload.
Yeah. But the left to right, the right to left, it's fucking on.
He's getting
point.
He developed a nice little tip. He was playing some nice early ball, so he was outstanding. He was my Body Science dog of the week.
That's just, he looked like effortless, right? Just gliding along, palm and blokes off, really well balanced. Like, The Wallabies are going to get something special there.
Yeah,
especially if they play in 15.
Maybe not his kicking, though. He's not the best goal kicker, so I don't think he'll be kicking. Players in doubt or out for round 27 and beyond, mate. So the last round of the competition. I'll go through a few. Not almost. There is a top 2 or 3 player from every single team in the top 10 going into round 27. So we'll go through them all, and then I'll ask you which player is going to be missed the most, and then which team do you think
is this injuries or suspension and injuries?
So
whatever.
So the only suspension is Trell. So we've got Jerome Luai, shoulder injury, dislocated shoulder, come back in. They're confident. I'm not as confident. They didn't put the shoulder back in until they went in the sheds. Plus there was Mitch Kenny, Taruva, Edwards, all those players were rested for Penrith. Sorensen, Isaac Tungor is apparently supposed to be back this week, but they're all, I would say, you'd like to think that they're all 50-50 propositions at least. And do they even play them if they were rested for that game anyway, right? Going into a game that might not matter. Broncos, Adam Reynolds and Paddy Carrigan, plus, Katoni Staggs, potential suspension, and a couple other nigglies, but Reynolds and Carrigan, massive. Metcalf, feel sorry for the kid. He was having a really good season. He's done his hammy again. He missed a whole heap of time at the start of the season. Tohu Harris is in major danger of missing big chunks of the season as well. Jerome Hughes looked to have done his knee. Harry Grant, I think, did a neck or shoulder at the back end of the game. I think he still finished.
Yeah, he did, but he'd be sorted out.
But he looked sore. Callum Ponga, obviously, with the shoulder injury. Jackson Hastings missed 2 games in a row now with the syndesmosis, or the ankle injury that he got from Preston. Nico Hines missed the game against Cronulla Sharks. Corey Horsburgh and Big Papa. Horsburgh's one looked bad when he got busted in the sternum by Josie Flegler. Trell is out suspended, obviously, but he'll be back for first week of finals if they make it. Jeremiah Nanai and Robson got banged up in the win against the Dolphins, and then obviously Joey Manu and Sam Walker didn't finish the game for the Roosters. Massive. And
Category 2 Sam Walker, so he won't get the 11 days. So he'll be all right.
Okay, so if he passes,
and he come back on.
Yeah, he did.
He did, so he's all right. So, but Joey Manu's crazy, right?
Yeah. Joey Manu. I don't think Joey Manu plays next week.
You don't come off and you have 6 days rest and play?
And it's Joey Manu. Joey Manu ain't coming off unless he's out for at least a couple of weeks.
It's a 2 or 4 week injury with the calf. I don't care what they say. You just don't come off. He'll never come off like that. They're optimistic,
but I don't think he'll play. Out of all those players and teams, which team is going to be hit the hardest with them, and which team is now in a better position based off all of the injuries from all these major players?
Yeah, that's a hard question, but I think the Broncos will get hit the hardest.
If
Reynolds and Carrigan are massive to everything. It humanises them all of a sudden, right? It goes, okay, they look so dominant in the last 4 to 6 weeks, right? They've been pumping everybody, right?
Last week they were our picks to win it, right?
Yeah, and I'm like, you take Reynolds out and you take Carrigan out. I know they didn't play on the weekend; they still got the job done, but it didn't look like it's a dominant performance, right? It was still on there until Rapana got sent off for 10.
Yep.
So, they went toe to toe with the Raiders, but in a big game,
I would say the Raiders lost that game rather than the Broncos winning.
They were in it, weren't they?
Yeah,
they were really in it. So that says a lot. Reynolds is just the way that the management of the games, Carrigan's hit, his non-stop defense, the kick chases, the options after Payne Haas, right? You got Flegler, Payne Haas, and then it's Carrigan getting either jamming in behind or playing out the back with getting out. You know what I mean? It's just he adds so much another dimension. So Carrigan even missing for 2 weeks, right? He'll definitely miss this week.
I think they'll both definitely miss this week. If you had to choose, if you're the Brisbane Broncos and it's one or the other, right? Which one's more important, Reynolds or Carrigan, to come back for that first week of finals, first versus fourth, second versus third?
Reynolds. I just think, mate, he is he means so much to them guys. His kicking game and everything, how he controls the game, where Carrigan's a dog, man. He is. He goes at it. But you can replace him to a certain extent. Just put more pressure on Payne Haas and Flegler to do more work. Get the kid. Peter Kura. Is it the
Kura? Yep.
Ooh, start him at lock.
Yep, Palacia.
I don't care.
Keenan Palacia.
They've got the depth. They've got the depth. It ain't like Carrigan's out and you got no one in there. Carrigan's hard to replace, but Reynolds, you can't replace because they don't have a 7 there. Like it puts more pressure on Ezra Mam, I suppose. But like I don't think
he's handled it well too, hasn't he?
Ezra Mam's a gun. He's a proper gun. But yeah, Reynolds, he's been there, dude, all year.
Jock Madden's played sound.
He's been all right
against the Cowboys. Then obviously he's got 2 wins now. Cowboys and the Broncos. I mean, sorry, the Raiders. What about
part of the team?
What team benefits the most through all these injuries?
I think the Knights.
Okay. I think
Ponga's fine.
Yeah, okay.
I think Hastings is replaceable. I think Cogger's playing outstanding.
Yeah, I think Hastings will be back this week.
Yeah, and I think, but Ponga's like it's an AC. They haven't said what grade. So when they grade it, you know how bad it is. Yep. If it's 1, 2, or 3, if it's 3, it's fucked. Yep. 2's like you're battling. If they say it's a high grade, the fuck's high grade? I'm very careful when I'm watching that. I'm like, give me the fucking 1, 2, or 3 because 2 means you are not doing anything like that. 1 will hurt for a bit. You jab that shit up, you're playing.
Yeah.
And 3 is separated.
Yeah.
It's fucking operation time. 2, you're fucking right on there. I've done it before and it's awful.
Well, the beauty of the Knights too, they play this week against the Dragons, and no matter what, I don't think they can. I think the top 4 teams are solidified.
Yeah.
Knights can't finish any worse than 5th and 6th, so they'll get a home semi regardless.
Rest him anyway. just so he's not in that position where because they're going to, like, just how Ramian got him, how he just passed the ball.
Yeah.
Perfect way to do an AC or scoring a try and ripping it back like that. But you don't think they're going to come up inside pressure, whoever's playing him in that first semi. They're going to get at him. Yeah. And it's going to fucking hurt. He's going to know that. But like if you're the Knights now and if he needs 1 week rest, fucking rest him. He's your golden goose. Rest him just for that 1 week, and then that fucking first week of semis come rolling in. I reckon they right now they're going, we can beat anyone.
I'll say my team that's affected the most is Penrith with Jerome missing. I don't think Jerome's going to come back. I think every other team has got, these 50-50 propositions or maybe a week or 2. I don't think Jerome will play a part. And he's won 2 competitions. He's in New South Wales 6. And then plus they've already, like, Isaac Tungall's missed a shitload of footy. Yeah. Dylan Edwards and Taruva and all those players arrested. So I think Penrith are going to be the hardest hit because I've got more faith in Reynolds and Carrigan getting back than I do with Luai without.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I think Reynolds and Carrigan are going to be playing in the prelims or whatever. You know what I mean? Like, they'll probably miss 1 week of finals, maybe. I just think maybe Carrigan will miss the first week. I don't think Reynolds will. But Luai, I don't think he's playing again.
Yeah.
He dislocated his shoulder. You can't needle that. You can't do anything about it. You put it back in and then, God bless him, he hasn't done any ligament damage, so you don't need a reconstruction or anything like that.
But you still got to build the strength back up.
You still got it. It's popped out of its socket, people. If he fucking comes back, he's a rock star. And he's the toughest prick ever.
And the team, I think, has benefited the most, despite all the drama, and they didn't play on the weekend, the Rabbitohs.
Yeah, all right.
Trell gets through. If they can get through this game against the Roosters and somehow manage it, because I don't think Joey Manu's playing for the Roosters.
Or evens it out, doesn't it?
They'll get Teddy back, which will be a big plus. But I think that's a like for a like. No Trell, no Joey. I think it comes back to a 50-50 proposition, whereas I would have had the Roosters a 60-40 favourite going into the next on Friday's game.
As a full deck of cards?
Yeah, full deck of cards.
What about both full deck of cards?
I'm going Rabbitohs.
Yeah?
Yeah, I'm going Rabbitohs. So despite all the dramas that's happened, I've got, if the Rabbitohs can somehow manage to win against the Roosters, they'll get Trell back, and then every other team has lost a big name player, whether it be Joey Manu for the Roosters, well, if they lose, they're out. But Jeremiah Nanai's been banged up for at least 8 weeks now.
Yeah. He's had a hard year.
Nico Hines, maybe the Sharks are a big winger in this as well if Nico Hines can get back.
Tohu Harris, bro.
Tohu Harris is a massive
on that
loss.
Dude, man.
He's a massive loss.
Even have a look at the Storm. Hughes and Grant. Dude, they're two, mate, you know what that team's built on? That spine. There's 2 of them automatically gone. So that could probably affect them more than anyone. Well, let's not sleep on the Storm.
I love Jerome Hughes, but they've got young Jonah Pezzett there. They've also got Meaney that could play halves, but he wouldn't be the same.
They're going to get at him, man.
They can't afford to lose Harry.
No, not both.
No.
Like, is Hughes, is he done?
No, not necessarily.
But he went off for precautionary? Obviously, we'll find out more as the week goes on.
We'll find out more as the week goes on as we get to preview. But, some really big injuries. So
the Horseman's got a sore chest today. I know that.
Horseman's
so big Papa too. When that bit of a collision, I don't know what it was. He kept going like that. Just looked fucking awful.
Yeah. So some really big days coming up in the lead up to teams will be announced. Well, teams would have been announced by the time you're watching this potty. So interesting to see how.
They're going to name all their players. That's what they're going to do. You're going to name all your players. You're going to put them in the 21 or 22, whatever they do. You're going to name them all.
Well, it depends if you're resting players or not, because you can't. So if you're the Penriths, or the Knights of the world, you can only name 22. So if you want to give an extended number of players a rest.
Yeah, the Knights aren't. You probably rest them one. That's it.
Well, Knights can't finish any higher than 5th or 6th, so no matter what.
That's what I'm saying, but Penrith's a little bit different. They can play a couple of little games. I understand that, but like Penrith are known to rest players, right?
Yeah, I think they'll rest.
But I don't. Yeah, Newcastle will still name Ponga and Hastings.
You reckon?
Oh, yeah, I think so.
All right.
Yeah, but who knows? He might play. Depends on the grading. Like if it's a grade 1, I'm expecting him to play. He's a tough prick, man. Don't get it twisted.
So let's become. So the Knights can't finish any worse than 5th or 6th, but would you prefer as a coach, if you were Adam O'Brien, to keep the momentum going rather than dropping players? They're playing the Dragons. I think it's at Wynn.
Oh, it's going to be hard, isn't it?
It's an ugly game,
fucking ugly game, mate. They're going to,
especially if in the back of your mind, you know, like it won't determine how if you go up on the ladder, if you go down.
It's a hard coaching decision, right? You know, Ponga's copped his licks.
Yep.
The last 18 months, man. I'm resting Ponga. Yeah, I don't think anybody else needs to be rested. Yep. Hastings, you get another week to recover.
I'd leave Hastings out as well. Yeah.
Go out, get another, and then come back in. Whole different ball game, semi-final football.
Yep.
Let's just like get through this season unscathed, try and get, and then it's a whole different ball game, man.
Yep.
Fucking that's the difference between all the great coaches. They can get you up. You just got to get through this shit. 27 rounds, man. It's a marathon.
What about if you're you're the Knights, or who else is there? The Knights and Sharks most likely will finish fifth. The winner of the Sharks or Raiders will finish 6th. The Knights most likely will finish 5th. Wow. And then you've got to either play potentially the Rabbitohs. So the Knights and Sharks could play the Rabbitohs or the Cowboys at home. If all the Roosters,
anyone can beat anyone, man. It's leveled up big time.
I reckon this is the best 5th to 8th, regardless of whoever ends up in there, that we've had in a long time.
And it's just evened up a little bit more because of the injuries that the Broncos and Penrith have had.
Yeah.
Because if they had no injuries in the last 2 weeks, I'm like, no one's touching both of them.
Yeah.
No one. Now I'm like, you're back to sort of like you might get done by Canberra. You might get done by Newcastle on their day.
Sharks,
you know, Cowboys. Like you don't know what can happen. You know, people just want to get to the semi-finals. Then it all changes.
Yep. All right, moving on to the Panthers versus Eels. Let's get into the review, Mace. Parramatta's regular season form against Penrith continues, and the Jerome injury opens up the competition, like we were just alluding to there.
Big time.
Can Penrith, though, are they still favourites to win the comp in your... So your pick was Broncos with mine last week. I think Penrith are still favourites for the competition. Yeah. Do they deserve to be favourites? No. Or Broncos deserve to be favourites?
Not now. Yeah. Like what I saw, what Parramatta did, like let's not get it twisted, right? I know Edwards was out.
Taruva,
Kenny. Kenny's like, you're not talking about like superstar players, but it all fits in. They all fit into that beautifully fucking...
All starters.
Yeah.
5 starters.
Beautiful system out there. They are all important, integral parts of that system, right? So you don't just look at it like that. But Jerome Luai just brings them back down. They're just not favourites anymore because when they bring all those players back into the system and then fucking Luai gets to attack with Sorensen and all those sort of blokes and like Liam Martin gets to move here, their forward pack was still decent, right? You still had Leota, you still had Fish Harris, you still had Yo. You know, you still had Liam Martin. You had a star-studded side, right? And Hoskins, you know. So and they still got dusted through. They'll be so angry. I don't know who they're playing this week, but they will bash the fucking shit out of the middles.
Cowboys.
Something's going down because you don't do that to a forward pack that's full of men, right? And you get embarrassed by like their forward pack from Parramatta. They got schooled in the middle, man, Penrith. That's the first time they've ever got done. Yeah. And I'm like, if I'm Broncos or someone like that, you're like, can we go through the front door?
What did we say in the lead up to the game? The only player that was missing from Parramatta's best lineup is Mitch Moses.
Yeah.
Now it's a big player. It's their best player, arguably their best player, but still like.
It was a beatdown, man.
Dijon Arcee's been nice filling in for Dylan Brown. He did equally as good a job for Moses. So the writing was on the wall for an upset. I'm spewing I didn't pick it and doubled down on it.
We picked the start, didn't we?
Yeah, we got the points. We obviously got the points easily.
But, like, it was just, I just think it just humanises them. They don't look like unbeatable. Like, you talking 4 weeks ago, I'm like, Penrith are going to be very hard to beat. Like, Bronx are going to have to be on their day and everybody play to their potential for Penrith to get beat. Now I'm like, you're missing Luai because he's such an integral part of that system out there. Who plays 5'8" now? Probably
Cogger.
The Cogger kid.
Yep.
You know, like he's not
solid.
Luai. He's solid. He's good defensively and everything like that, but he's like the heart and soul of that team out there, Luai. Luai and Critter.
That's a part.
That's their spiritual leaders, man. Don't get it twisted.
CEO.
You know, so like I just think
energy officer. What's his name? Central something energy officer.
Well, that's what it is. And I just think it's just like, damn it, I was spewing he got injured. And I was spewing Reynolds and Carrigan got injured.
Yeah, you never want to see.
I just want to see the best teams out there.
I thought, even before the injury was early to Jerome, I think it was the first 15 or 20 minutes or whatever, but I thought Parra were really taking it to him anyway.
Through the middle.
Even off the scrum play, the Dylan Brown try for Micah Sevo, like they had a crack.
Yeah.
It wasn't they forced Penrith to play that way. You know how sometimes, like when I watched the Broncos-Raiders game, despite Broncos being the better team, they were missing players. I thought the Raiders lost that game.
Yeah.
Rather than the Broncos winning it. You know, we'll get to that soon. But when I'm watching this game, it's like Penrith didn't lose that game.
Parra won, man. They went at it from the day, from the first set. You know what I mean? Like,
King
I was
Gutho,
like,
two of the best.
They just ambushed them. They ambushed them. They did ambush them.
That's the
and then they just couldn't get the momentum back. And usually they can get it back. I was waiting for Penrith to get it back through Leota, through Fisher Harris, through Yo.
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't allow it.
No.
So a lot of pride. That's what I'm saying. This is hard to fucking pick in the last couple of games, right?
You know, it was a big moment in the game when Joey Lussick held up Isaiah Yeo.
Yeah.
So I think it was back and forth. I think there might have been a try, and Parramatta might have been up by one, and I thought Penrith. Here comes Penrith. Isaiah Yeo cuts straight through the guts, and Joey Lussick was really good.
Yeah, good. But there was a couple of moments where like, here come Penrith.
Yep.
All right, Parra's done. Nah, still there. Score a try. You know what I mean? And then they put it to bed. So
it's good to see
respect
fucking
Widemu. Big Widemu, Greg.
Big Widumu's been back for the last couple of weeks now too and playing well. He's a much improved player, and he's going, like I said, Parra
only going to get better next year too.
Parra, a massive bounce back candidate. There are a couple of teams that I really like next year because competitions go up and down, teams change, form really matters. Luck plays a big part in the competition, missing injuries and all that.
They won't have any
stuff.
Players leaving either. The Eels, have
yes, they won't. All their players have been re-upped, and then all these players that have had probably career best years for them. The Jermaine Hopgoods, the Bryce Cartwrights, the Widemu Greggs. They've got Joe Alpha and Gower, I think, on a good deal coming over from the Tigers. So all these guys are going to be ready to go again for next year. And then you'll get Sean Lane back. Madison won't miss games of suspension and whatnot. Great performance from Parramatta. Moving on to the Warriors versus Dragons, the first game of Friday night. 18-6 for the Warriors. Another close game for the Warriors, Mace.
Sounds like a good game.
Are you concerned about that the Dragons aren't blowing these Dragons, Tigers? The Warriors aren't blowing the Dragons, the Manly Seagulls of the world, the Tigers of the world. I think, was it the Dolphins as well? And they're just not putting them to the sword.
Battling, hey, aren't they? I told you they're trending downwards, right? Regardless of the wins. But sometimes you can look at it and go, all right, well, you're getting through.
And they're not losing.
And you're not losing the games.
I don't think they're going down, they're just not improving.
Yeah, they're just probably just plateaued out, right?
Leveling.
They've leveled out where they're not leveling up or down. Yeah. They're just sort of going cruising, going, all right, let's just get to the semi-finals. All right, we've got a top 4 spot now. They might flog the hell out of the team this week because they're in the top 4.
Yeah.
And I was just thinking, like, they come up against just real gritty teams, man. Like Saturday night in Auckland or Friday night in Auckland. Like it's cold. It's like the type of football allowed to be played is not flamboyant. There's going to be a lot of mistakes, right?
That's a good point.
You know, like it's windy, it's cold. There's a lot of excuses. It's fucking late in the rounds. You don't want to be in New Zealand, but you just got to bite down on your fucking mouth guard if you're the opposition, and even the Warriors to that certain extent, and just get out there and get the business done.
Yep.
And the teams that have been over there, they're gritty teams. and they'll stay in the game. And like you're over there, you're over there. You don't want to be embarrassed in New Zealand. You want to go out there and have a beer with your mates after the game, look each other in the eyes, and go, all right, we had a fucking dig.
That's a good point.
We had a dig.
When you travel New Zealand,
you're going shit. You're going
time
shit.
to galvanise, right?
Yeah, you got that siege mentality going against the Warriors. They think they're making the finals. This. Fucking let's go at them. And I think they're the guys. They're the guys. They're the teams that have been going over there. You haven't had a top 8 team go over there or a top 4 team. Because then they would rise to that occasion. Then we could judge them on that. I'm not judging them off the last month.
Yeah.
They're just getting through, and guess what? They're winning. So just fucking deal with it.
The Metcalf injury, it's a big one, but I think it opens the door up for Tomato Martin to come back in, right? He played New South Wales Cup on the weekend.
It's a blessing to have a Tamari Martin sitting in your ranks, isn't it?
Yeah, very.
And just coming back from injury, and Metcalf just, it sucks. Young kid just had his breakout year. It's probably the end of his season, I reckon.
Yeah.
The hamstring, because who knows how far the Warriors can go. This could be bang, bang, 3 weeks could be done.
Well, he's done his hamstring really badly at the start of the season, so you could tell he was very emotional, he was crying on the bench. He knew.
It's like, this ain't a week out, and I'm back for the semi-finals. This is like, this is a 2 to 4.
Yeah.
Tamari Martin's going to come back in and go, you know what?
Great system, good player.
And Tamari Martin deserves this spot. He's gone through some fucking shit.
He knows a shitload about adversity, doesn't he?
He knows everything about adversity. So you're going to kid him who's coming in there. He's going to take this, hopefully steer him in the right way and get the fucking win. Not just a win, just a win for the grand final, because the door's open.
You know what I've noticed with the Warriors now too, in these games, whether it be Manly, the Dragons, and even a couple of games before, I think it was the Tigers games, they're starting to get the 50-50 calls now too. I think the energy of the crowd, the home crowd, they're expected. And it's like anything, mate. Subconsciously, I don't think refs go out there to cheat. Well, I know.
No.
Yeah, we've met enough refs, and I've been in games where it's like, when you're a team down the bottom, you just don't get the calls. And when you're a team up the top, there's subconsciously something happens with referees. They're going, that 50-50 for whatever reason always ends up going to the better team. And that's what the Warriors have now got themselves in a position to do. I will say, I reckon the hardest or a big factor in wins and losses, and I'd love to see the percentage of times teams score after a 6 again on the 4th and 5th tackle.
Oh, that's big.
I think it led to the first couple of tries that the Warriors scored, where the Dragons off really soft 6 agains, like not soft from the point of the Dragons doing it. I thought the referee really gave the Warriors a leg out on a couple of them, and like I've said, that shit's gone against the Warriors in the past, right? So they've earned the right to get those calls now, but fuck, it's hard to defend.
It looks hard because it's like, I'd love to see the percentage as well, because once, because usually you've been busting your ass, you say it's around about 20-minute mark, right? And you're like a 4th tackle, like mentally you're like, and some dude gives it away who's been on there for 5 minutes or maybe a center, I don't know, or a center or a wing or something like that. The fucking middles can turn on you, man. Or they can just have that play off and then just like they score through the middle. You know what I mean? It's like, it's such a fucking killer. And if you're not mentally strong and mentally up for those moments, bro, that can get you.
Yeah,
that can get you. And it usually gets the guys that aren't mentally strong. They'll miss those assignments around the ruck, the markers and all that kind of stuff. And like good teams will expose those guys.
Taking a little show.
It sucks, like it's a real lazy mentality, right? Where it's like, fuck it, we'll defend our line. Let's just do it. Like, sorry, boys, next play. Like where sometimes, especially in the middle of the field, right? When it's a 4th tackle and you've just busted your ass, and then a 4th tackle hit, and it's like, fuck, another set of 6. I'm like, ooh,
it actually
hurts.
It could have been even worse if Adam Fanua-Blake didn't drop that first one. Phil Walker comes through the middle. Sloaney gifted him one later in the half anyway, but it could have been a lot worse. It could have been 24-6.
Yeah, it would have been done.
Or 18-24-0 or 24-6 at one point going into halftime. But yeah, Dragons showed a lot of grit as per, and they're going to be a tough game against the Knights for sure in the last round. Dolphins played the Cowboys at Suncorp for the second game on Friday night. 34-10 to the Cowboys, Mace. Yeah. But it could have been a lot worse. Cowboys blew multiple chances. Too little, too late. Or their fate will be determined by what sort of team that Ivan names. But now there's...
But if
even aside from the...
If they win, they're not guaranteed in the 8, are they?
They're in.
Or they are?
Yep.
Okay, well, fuck, you'd think they're going to go out and get it done, right?
Yep. If they win, they're in.
Right. Well, that seems pretty simple.
Oh, sorry. No.
That's what.
If they win,
Is it for and against?
No. So if they win, I've got it. If they win, so Canberra can lose and Souths lose, they drop down.
Right.
One of those. So the Raiders are playing the Sharks. Souths are playing Roosters. They need at least one of those teams to win, and then they've got to win themselves.
Simple, isn't it? Just win, I suppose.
Win and see what happens.
They got it done the first bit, the first leg, and then the second one they got to get it done again. So the Dolphins are up for it, but they've got so many players out. They've used so many players. It's a gritty team, man. The DNA that they've built there for a first year that the Wayne's built there is it's not bad. I wouldn't be that disappointed.
They'll know about one of the results. So the Rabbitohs play the Roosters on Friday night. So if the Roosters beat the Rabbitohs, then all they know is they have to win. They have to win.
Yeah.
And then if they win, regardless against Penrith, and the Rabbitohs still win, then they've got to sit and watch the Sunday game, the last game of the round, and hope the Sharks beat the Raiders.
That's awful.
Yeah.
Oh wow. So they've left it.
Yeah.
Like fucking maybe too late. You know what I mean? Like who knows? Even if Penrith rests some of their players, like who are they going to rest? Just say if they do, there might be Yowie and the two props maybe. I don't reckon any of those players want to be rested after last week.
I disagree.
Yeah,
I disagree. I think the goal was winning the competition and being as fresh as possible. I think it's. Okay. I think
work last year and the year before. So
well, I think this round in particular has proved that the competition's too long. These players go through the season's too long, specifically the guys that all play Origin.
Yeah.
So I reckon if you get an opportunity to rest, like continuity, combinations, I know it's not Jerome, but this Penrith team's proven.
Yeah, man.
They just need to be healthy. Yeah. And if they're healthy, then they win.
I'm probably just thinking about myself, really. Yeah. It's like, fuck, just get me out there because I'll be pissed off, right? But like a week off would be sounding all right as the week goes on. Yeah. And maybe how you're feeling today where you're sore as fuck and you're just like, God, I don't really want to play this.
And you know what? And by the time it gets to game day, you'll be thinking, fuck, I wish I was playing if you were rested,
you want
right?
you want to be, you want that.
You'll be looking at all the reserve graders who are putting up a fight against the Cowboys, if that does indeed, and you'll be going, I'd love to be out there with the boys. But
and it's a good mindset to have.
That's why you need to have a good coach. And then you've got to be smart with the way you play.
They understand what's going to happen, right? Because it works. This worked last year. They rested them and they blew everyone out of the water. But what do you think about the Dolphins this year?
Well, I want to give a shout out to Osako. So
he killed it, eh?
Most likely, with 1 round to go, is the leading point scorer by 14 points in a team that is running.
And try scorer too, right?
Yeah, I've got try scorer as well, but they 21. Are running.
Oh, no, sorry. No, Dom Young.
No, he's try scorer. And he's the leading try scorer by 2.
Dom Young's the Knights one. He's surely up there. How many has Osaka got?
Dom Young's 2 behind. So Osako's leading by 2. Yeah.
Wow.
He's winning point scoring by 14 points and tries by 2. I'm going to have a little play on the Dolphins to make the 8 next year. If I get a good price from our friends at Tab, our partners at Tab.
I wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah.
They've probably had about like 6 or 7 games they're probably looking at going, we should have won that.
Another year with Hamiso.
Yeah.
Hopefully a fully fit Jeremy Marshall-King. Needs to fix that shoulder. Needs to fix that shoulder. Needs to get surgery or whatever done and come back and be without him. When he plays, they're a completely different team.
Yeah.
Tom Gilbert back, dog. Jersey Flegler coming, dog.
Yeah.
Herbie Farnworth in the centres, dog. Jake Averillo, bulldog.
Shit.
Yeah, they've got some good players coming in.
They've got some strike. Another year, Katoa under his belt.
Yep.
Sullivan, they got some decent.
Sullivan can do the job.
Yeah, he can do the job. I'm not bagging him. I'm just saying he's not in my top echelon
for another year, and then I want to find out who I need. If I'm the Dolphins, I need to be finding a fucking Premier 7 because that's all they're missing.
But just one name. That's why they were just going to go all in for Munster. Like, you need a Munster. He attracts players.
I don't know how if they do it, or I doubt he's going to leave the Dragons. But if they could somehow pick up Ben Hunt, be game over.
Yeah, they'll be top 8. Like straight away with Ben Hunt.
Yeah, they've had a great season. Storm versus Titans at 3 o'clock, the first game of Super Saturday.
I just read that.
Now,
Money, God damn you, Munster.
He fucked up my multi with a late field goal to make it 21 points when I had plus 20 and a half, money. I'm off
you are the worst.
I'm off you. I messaged Mace because Mace knew about my bet, and I was he goes, your man money fucked you. And you should have seen the things I was saying about him.
Yeah, and I was being nice. I was just thinking, I was like, oh yeah, he's fucked you. Yeah. Big time.
Yeah, he got me beauty.
So why's he doing field goals for?
Because he's a dog. He's a dog. That last set that led to Coates' try sums him up.
Yeah.
They do a short kickoff. The Titans are trying to fight to get back into the game. They're defending the line for big moments. He does a trap and scrap, picks up the ball. Someone takes a hit up. A hit up later, he does a full run it straight off the back fence. Got pumped. They shifted a couple of times. He gets back, picks himself up after getting smoked in that carry, puts it on a dime right on top of Phil Sammy. Xavier Coates catches it, end of the game.
Fuck, he's good, Xavier Coates.
Then he gets him down a couple of sets later and just drops a 1-pointer and fucking completely ruins my multi.
Yeah. But, big effort from Big Tino as well. 68 minutes in the middle, well over 200 metres. Like, he's a monster. I was saying that. I was like, without Tino, they would have got pumped.
Yeah.
And even without Ben Hunt, the Warriors would have pumped the Dragons. I feel sorry for Benny Hunt. A couple of players out there that just give their all every single week, right? Yeah. They don't have games off. They don't have plays off. And Tino's one, Benny Hunt's one of them. But Tino's in the middle, copping this shit, leading the way, captain's knock again. Like, he was like 20 touches and offloads and just like the amount of minutes he's playing and the spirit that he plays with. You're getting every single cent out of that kid.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
And I'm just looking at him going, give him some fucking help.
Just like Jace and what Jason Tomalolo did for the Cowboys, I couldn't care less.
He's underpaid.
They're underpaid. Like, I couldn't care less if I'm not paying them right. Unders at the back, overs at the back end of their career for the 5 years that you know that they're going to put in for the franchise.
And win a comp, hopefully.
And win a comp. Pappy returned, played just under 20 of the best, I think.
It's good for him, man.
He was in the front line for filling in for Hughes as well. So you got a little bit more defense, which I think is going to serve him well. I will say, I envision Pappy coming back and playing in that 14 role. I think Bronson Garlick's been really good for the Storm. He's given Harry Grant a couple of spells now, not starting the game and allowing Harry to come off the bench.
Interesting to see what happens if Harry misses and Jerome Hughes. They've got some depth. Like, they might rest these guys, right?
I think they will, yeah.
You'd have to.
I don't think Jerome won't play. I don't reckon Harry will play.
Give Pappy some more game time, see how he goes.
Yeah, I wouldn't even play Munster.
Yeah, right.
Because they can't. It's the
same position. Like, what? Rest the shitload of them. This is an extra game that they haven't been playing for the last 20 years.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you can have it off, have it off.
Have it off. Yeah.
Barely smart. He knows his players.
In that game as well, actually, we'll move on there. I was going to say positional value, it's right. The Titans, like, they were fighting when Foz was taken off from the field with the HIA. I'm very conflicted on this because this is I don't care if he's a mate. Like, so Foz is a mate of mine, but this is a clear example, right? He cops a whack around the chops from Pappenhausen. He stayed down, and this is what I've said all along. Fozzie is as tough as it comes. Yeah. That wouldn't have hurt him, but he tried to play for the penalty. He didn't get the penalty. He got pulled off. Yeah. So if you're just taken off,
take that advice, but whatever you're saying.
If I'm a player watching that game, you've got to go off.
Get up. Like,
you've got to get up.
Yeah, but like, if you cop the massive hit and you know it didn't fucking really rattle you, get up and play the ball and then fucking deal with it. Because I don't want to go off and deal with that fucking test.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, come on, another 15 minutes.
He couldn't come on.
That's what I'm saying. But like, you got to deal with another 15 minutes, and then you cost your team just because, like, you know, you're trying to get a penalty.
There was fuck all in the hit, and the consistency is the thing that's because if you look at the Ray Stone hit on Hutchison a couple of weeks ago, it was very similar. But it was, you know, one was given 10 in the bin, Ray Stone, and Pappenhausen wasn't even suspended. Why wasn't Pappenhausen suspended?
There's no real jolt in there.
There was one that was an eye poke on the Sunday game, I think it was. He got poked in the eye.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's the Foz one. That's the Foz hit. Yeah,
no.
So Fozzie was playing for the
No, I know what you're talking about. It was on the Sunday. Someone got poked in the eye and he went off for an HIA. I'm not sure who it was. It was a Sunday game, but
it was the Raiders game as well.
Yeah.
It was the Raiders-Broncos game. Who was it?
I don't know what it was.
Who was
Some weird calls, but
who was the game before? The Bulldogs? No, it wasn't. It was the Raiders, yeah. Did we watch it? No, the Knights game. It was the Knights
and Sharks we watched.
Knights and Sharks. Anyway,
don't matter.
But yeah,
anyway,
that's what happens.
Note to players, if you're decent and it didn't really rattle you, just get up and play the ball and just keep on pushing because you're going to have to go off and you're going to cost your team.
Yeah, they had no chance of winning with Fozzie off the field.
Yeah.
The Roosters played the Tigers and they won 32-8. I thought this game was going to be closer than what it was. Well, it was actually. It was a bit of a dogfight there for a little bit, but then the Roosters just really blew them away. Just like the Cowboys, though, the Roosters too late, too little, too late.
Yeah, I think so, man. Like especially with JW, like getting suspended for 8 weeks. Manu,
is that official? Is it 8 weeks?
Oh, 6 weeks, I think. Or they're going to fight it, but if he doesn't, is that right?
I'm getting
Lukey?
it up now. I'm getting it up.
Who knows? But like I was saying to you before this, like I think in 2006, right, and even about 2013, we were playing that test, right, and what's the halfback's name?
Sean Long.
Sean Long. I hit Longy after he passed the ball or kicked it.
Like the Coruscant hit, that
Like
Jared.
about 1,000 times worse, right?
Yeah.
And then only got, this was after I had a fight with Fielden, and all it was just like, he just goes, Lockie, can you settle him down? That was the vernacular from the refs, right?
It's come
How
a long way
much
now.
it's changed. I would have got sent off from the fight anyway.
Oh, yes.
But like, let alone hitting him late off the ball with the elbow to his head, right? Didn't mean it. I just thought, because he was ducking, didn't mean an elbow in the head. It was just sort of like that. I always apologise to Youngie when I was playing for Hull KL. Longy, when we were playing, we're both playing for Hull.
Oh,
he was at FC and I was at KR.
Oh, yeah.
He was on the coaching staff, but we're just pissing ourselves laughing.
How do you not mean to elbow someone in the head?
I don't know. So get the footage like Lukey, but it'd be hilarious. And then I got Robson one time exactly how J-Dub got him. So this is only fucking 10 years ago, right?
Yeah.
So that's 15 years ago. It's about
Jeff
10.
Robson.
Jeff Robson for Cronulla. Exactly like he did it.
Yeah.
Probably way worse and still nothing happened.
Yeah.
I'm all for the protection of the players, right?
Yeah.
But like, I don't think he deserves 6 weeks. I think this is just the amount of fuckery that he's caused in his whole career, right? Like they're just over it.
No,
they're over it.
Well, I just think it was super unnecessary. Like the game's changed a lot.
I'm just saying, like that's my point is.
Yeah, but what you were doing, that was 20 years ago. The game's, for what people have copped, I think 6 weeks probably a little bit harsh, probably 4's about right. But it's
fine.
Jared's a 298 gamer. They're winning the game by 18. We were talking about it on the radio. I was speaking to with Missile, brought up a good point when we were doing radio on Sunday. He probably would have understood it if they were losing by 18 against the Tigers.
And your season's over.
But the Tigers were actually winning, and they've got to play a game against the Rabbitohs this week to go into the finals, and he does that. And then this is what else plays into it. Potentially miss all finals footy if they make it. If not, and he was to be named for the Kiwis, there's a good chance he misses all the test footy. Or even worse, he doesn't make the test team, they don't make finals, and he misses Vegas.
Yeah, it's awful. It's an awful decision. I'm pretty sure but I love the fact, because J-Dub's cut from that cloth, man, like as soon as he went up to the ring, he thought he was fine. He goes, shoulder. I hit his shoulder. Because he did hit his shoulder.
Yeah.
Like, I looked at it, if you break it all the way down, but it's swinging arms, he's just, you know what I mean? It's the intent, right?
Yeah.
But I'm with him. I'm like, yeah, well, shoulder. But that's just me being the way that I played. And I'm like, yeah, I'm fucking all for that. Yeah. But it's just like,
you like the dog in it, no matter what.
Yeah, I'm just like, yeah, he's just going hard, whatever. But he didn't like hurt Appy. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Appy was sweet.
Appy was fine.
Just pissed off.
Appy just like, why'd you fucking hit me for?
Yeah.
And you're more shocked at it, like, dude, you're pumping us in every single way.
Yeah.
And you still do that. So if you're the Roosters, you're probably really disappointed in J-Dub's actions because of the repercussions, right?
Yeah.
You're a senior player. You're one of their best forwards.
Can
you're
still
a
make the
leader.
finals now.
You can still make the finals. We need you for one last hurrah, and we could make a run for it.
And he's on 298 games too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So now, if this could extend his 300th game until like
next year,
round 8 of the season, rather than getting it done a couple of games into the season.
And it's just a. But it was I just thought of it like sometimes what he did. I've done that like at least 5 times.
Yeah.
And
so when you see that shit, you're like glass houses.
I know, right? And it's terrible. It's a stupid it's a stupid attitude. But I sort of laugh and go, oh man, it's fucked.
Yeah.
But if it was late and it actually hit him in the fucking head and it was awful, you know what I mean? Like, but he was I don't know, just in a weird position and he was just putting inside pressure on. That's the way I look at it.
Yeah.
He just ran through him like a bull.
Yeah.
6 weeks, is that too harsh? Yes.
Nah, fuck him, 6 weeks. Lindsay Collins.
2 weeks or maybe a fine in 1 week. That's what I'll be doing.
I hate the fucking Roosters. I hate them. Well, they fucking Jared.
I know, mate.
Jared also got me in the grand final for a niggly thing, and I slapped him, and then he got a penalty for it. But he dropped the ball, headbutted me.
He's a dog, mate.
I slapped him back.
He's a dog. Like the DAWG.
And they get the fucking penalty. They go up 8-6 going in a half time or something like that. So I've always got a fucking little vendetta against fucking Jared. Walker and Swaliti, best for the Roosters.
Good to see the Walker kid back.
Yeah, it was, right?
Good for
I thought he played well.
Good for his his
confidence.
ego. Good for his confidence. Good,
he took the game on, didn't he?
Yeah,
running.
I love it.
Didn't overcomplicate it. Yeah.
It's exactly probably what they want to see from him week in, week out.
Yeah.
Dominate the game. Get the ball when you want.
I think it's even more of a case that they really got to start looking to the future now. The Sam Walkers, the Butcher brothers, make it Radley's team, make it Joey Manu's team. A few of these older guys, Kez, Jared, Toops. Jared got extended. I think Kez would be a great pickup for anyone in the team, but maybe like the Roosters has been too long, and even a big decision around Teddy's probably coming up in the next, if not next year, probably.
Didn't Teddy just re-sign last year? Like a fair deal?
Did he?
Something like that. Yeah.
All right. Well, Teddy's
29.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure.
I just think it changes.
I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying, but like this is going to be hard to do because like you think give it a Joey.
Well, if he's re-signed, then no, that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But Joey just re-signed last year as well, too, didn't he?
So they got all the big dogs done, but Walks, he needs the owner. He needs the owner. Brandon Smith played outstanding as well.
Yep, best game, one of the better games that Cheese is playing. He's finally, just trying to get some. He's just getting some minutes.
Smith and Walker looked all right. So you just got to give him a little bit of time, get another preseason under their belt. Who knows what can happen?
The Raiders lost to the Broncos at home, 18-29, 29-18 to the Broncos. Sticky with the depressor of doom, as per. And I think he even called out Fox Sports.
He told him fuck off.
Told him to fuck off or piss off, one of the two.
Just a cameraman. He took it out on the camera. I love Ricky Stewart. I don't care what anyone says. I've read a heap of like Instagram shit. Who's this? I saw Twitter comments. I'm like, shut the fuck up, man. Ricky Stewart's Ricky Stewart. I'm glad we got characters like this in our game. Like, what do you want? These boring ass coaches and stuff. This guy plays it. He played with passion. He coaches with passion. Everything's about the Raiders. And he's all in. Yep. And I love it. If I'm a player, that's why he gets the best out of his players.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm sitting there going, might have taken too far to him. Oh, cameraman to fuck off. Yeah. But like, it is what it is with Ricky. When he goes, he goes.
He spitted a cameraman or something.
Oh, bro, you don't care, man.
He's a big spitter too. He's
always looking at you. Yeah.
I can remember
get the ball, run the ball fucking hard like It's like he's chewing on something all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, you should be a baseballer.
Mate, he's the reason I love depressors. Like, that's as good as it gets.
King. What did he say? Give me.
Just basically said that they had to call him to go into the presser. Sorry, I took too long. I don't mean to do it to you guys. I just don't want to be here. I'm sick of they're going to tell me some shit like, why does it always happen to happen to us? But there's got to be some, like, despite the entertaining part of it, like, there's got to be accountability for how the Raiders lost that game. There was 2 times that they didn't catch the ball after scoring off kick returns. Like, if you continually play us against them mentality, right? If you're Ricky, and you're blaming the media, you're blaming the fucking referees, you're blaming the NRL, you're blaming the RLPA for not being able to talk to players. Like, he's always blaming people. Eventually, like, there's no accountability in that, right? Like you said, he's a different person inside the 4 walls, right? He probably gives you a different message.
Oh, of course.
But if you continually hear that from an out, it's like, do you not think that subconsciously ingrains into the players? Like, because Elliot Whitehead was sitting there like...
He tries to give that mentality, us against them. Yeah. Siege mentality all the time.
Elliot Whitehead was almost laughing when Ricky was in the presser.
Because he fucking... like,
because he knows what he's like.
Because that's not Ricky Stewart when I see him at training, right?
Do you think that's good for the team, though, to continue to be complaining?
Yeah, he doesn't. Because they know what he's like, right? You know what he's like. And they're like, fuck, Ricky's just doing Ricky. Yeah. We know what happens. We know how much he loves us and he cares for us. We're like his kids. And that's what we want. Anything else, like, they don't care. That's why Ricky Stewart will coach until he's fucking 70 years old. But he probably give himself a heart attack before then. He's just so intense, mate. He loves the game. He just hates getting... like, what was his excuse, right? What was he angry at?
The Hudson Young escort off the dropout. And I think he was... I think he didn't. I think he thought the Jordan Rapana bin in was harsh, but the main one was and it was. I agree with him. It was so soft the escort on Hudson Young. He barely touched. Who was it? Cobbo was going up for it. Like he doesn't have eyes for the ball. And to the letter of the law, it's the correct rule. But you know what? Fuck it. I always say this. When you use discretion, when you give referees discretion, because I'll say Grant Atkins was the bunker. Yeah. And you could tell, even as he was adjudicating on the rule, you could tell that he was reluctant to say it. But at the end of the day, it's black and white. Yeah. And when you make it black and white, then you don't leave it to, he did it that way last time. As long as they continue to call it black and white, and that's what Ricky's alluding to, because he reckons it happens every week. So,
do you reckon Ricky's just like they've 100% got it in for me?
Yeah, 100%.
Like him personally, not the Raiders, just Ricky Stewart.
I reckon Ricky goes to bed every night going, every cunt's against me.
Everyone, NRL, RLPA, everyone hates RLPA. Me. He's got to be
my players hate my players.
What? They played bad to piss me off.
Yeah. Croker playing his 300th.
Fuck him. He like
that cunt.
Should be on 38.
He goes, why did Croker have to play his 300th at Leichhardt and make me make that decision? He's trying to get me.
He's been out. He took all those years off just so he can fuck me in this position. That's how crazy our boy is.
He's crazy, Ricky.
Oh, I love him.
If you're who would you prefer to play if you're the Warriors and Storm week 1 of the finals? Broncos or Panthers? Both of them away.
Wow, that's a big one.
Broncos
I don't think the Raiders are scared of anyone. I reckon they'll take
No, the Raiders won't be playing them. I'm just talking about getting to the Broncos now, because Broncos are going to finish first or second no matter what. Really good opportunity, dependent on Paddy Carrigan and Adam Reynolds. And even so, I still think...
So the question is, who do the Broncos want to play?
No, who would you prefer to play if you're 3rd and 4th, like the Warriors and Storm? Would you rather prefer to play Penrith or Broncos up at Suncorp?
If I was the Warriors, I'd want to play Storm. No, the Warriors, I'd want to play Penrith.
Yep.
Just write that down a little bit, right?
Well,
get them in that first week, right? Yep. And I think that could be the upset. I think it might.
Oh, I've got some news here. I've just got a few of the teams. Hughes is ruled out.
All right.
And Reynolds and Carrigan are unlikely.
Ruled out for the year or like just
Cogger to replace Luai, same 17 expected. Rabbitohs, Taff number 1 man, so Taff will play. Teddy on track. JWH band, Stone chance. Harrison doubt. He's out, I believe. Tamari Martin will return. Hines set to return, so he'll play. Horsburgh will front the judiciary. He could be in trouble.
What did he do?
What did Horsburgh do? Oh, the shoulder barge. No, actually, he'll be sweet. Horsburgh was sweet. He should fight that. Yeah, that was a clean hit. He was sort of like the shoulder barge like that, but he had his hand to the side and sort of had an action. Ponga will be sidelined, and JDB will be back. Right. So there's some of the news. Like that's 50. Those are predicted. That's predicted. So we'll see what happens when the lineups come out. I'm with you. I'd prefer to play Penrith right now if I'm 3rd.
Just now, like right now. Right now. The Warriors can go bang in this last round and then just go, all right, get it at Penrith to get it done straight away.
Yep.
And try and just go all in that game.
The Levels Network Cup was the first game of Sunday. Your Bulldogs versus my Bird Gang Mace. Manly won 42-24. Chez just had it on a string. He was outstanding. Hamolo Alakuatu was really good. Tolu Kola was really good. I'll throw you one next year. Now, when this first got thrown out, I thought it was stupid, but I think there's some validity in it for just 1 year. 1 year. Turbo comes back next year. Play Turbo in the centres. Hear me out. So you either play Kola or Garrick. I'd probably prefer Garrick play fullback because I think Garrick is not that Kola's got a heap of areas in him, but I think he's a safer play, Ruben Garrick. You play Tommy Travojevic at left centre, so that also fixes a problem that Manly have got because their left edge defensively sucks. So you put Tommy would immediately fix their left edge problems, and you just give Tommy a full season of trying to get fit and play a full season of footy at left centre. If he then plays the entire season, whether it be probably he'll play rep footy if he's playing centres because then he'll play that for New South Wales, right? And then next year, the following year, with a full season, he just needs to play, get some games under his legs, and then move him back to fullback the following year. Then you play Tolu Kola on the right.
I don't mind it.
Yeah.
I don't think they'll do it.
Yeah, either do I.
Yeah, but like, it'd be great. It'd be a great thing. Just to build him back into the year and into like just say, I'm going to pay it left centre for 10 rounds.
For half the season.
Yeah, for 10 rounds.
Yep.
And then get your feet, get through the games. Mentally, just finishing games mentally is good for you. Just your confidence and everything like that. A couple of tries here and there, drop back to, I don't know. Just you could work with it.
You like the idea of it?
I don't mind the idea.
Or even up and just say, for instance, he's probably going to play centres for Origin if he does indeed play the first part of the season. So as soon as Origin's finished.
Right centre. Well, because you got what position is Cole? Cole's right centre, isn't he? Pretty sure he can play anywhere, that kid.
Cole's flexible, but I'd prefer to have Tommy on the left to help out the defensive issues that they've got on the left edge, because they're going to get Luke Brooks next year. It could potentially be Shuey playing left edge back row. Ooh. So you got Brooks and Schuster next to each other. You're going to need to have a centre that's going to be on it.
Yeah. And, big body, good defender.
He can help protect that left edge, and then that left edge attacking wise, be dangerous. Then you got on the right edge.
Olakau'atu with Turbo with
no. So you got on the left edge.
Olakau'atu's on the right. Shit, put him on the left.
No, you play Shuey left edge back row if he gets fit.
Yeah.
Luke Brooks, 5'8", left side. Yeah, Tommy Turbo, left centre. And on the right side, you got Ches, Olakau'atu, and Kola.
Yeah, it's mad.
That's nice, eh?
You've got a decent team when they're all on board.
Yeah.
That's why everyone was sort of backing them to make the 8 this year.
We just need Turbo just completely changes the fucking whole makeup of the team.
Of every team.
Forward packs are just rolling the Bulldogs at the moment, mate. Like, that's the biggest concern. Like, because Manly's pack isn't even... like, they haven't even been as dominant. And I guess one of the main concerning parts, there was an article that come out that people within the Bulldogs or certain players inside the Bulldogs are not happy with the training schedule at the moment. Is that a soft excuse?
It's fucking soft as shit. I hope to God. I mean, like, I hate shit like that because I see what our coaches and that put together, like with Ciro to Travis Tuma to Zap, to Chatty Randall, Bobcat, Ogre, all these sort of guys, high performance. Like I know what the schedule is. And if you can't deal with it, you're not going to be fucking there, right? Because there's high standards at the club, regardless of what's happening right now with this, where we're coming on the ladder or anything like that. But there's no excuses, and you'll get weeded out of the club because that's what Ciro wants to do. Like, these guys have had a losing mentality there for like 5 years. So it's a cultural thing, right? The winning and losing. So
this is a way of fishing them out,
This is a way to fish them out,
you
right?
Train hard.
If this shit's getting out there, if you can't fucking handle it the way the Bulldogs play and train,
perfect.
This is not your fucking club, all right? So, like, this is a perfect way. And they'll find out. Yep. You'll find out, because if you're on contract right now, right, and you don't happen to be there on the roster next year, or if they don't want you, you're that dude that they don't want at the club.
Yeah.
So the guys that we want there, they'll be there. Like players that were coming in, they're going to bring a winning culture as well. It's going to take a minute, right? But it's just the way it is. You got to tough it out. Like, it's just the way it is, and we're all in this together. You think it's fucking good seeing these young kids go through these losses every single week, Nelly, to prepare them so well, and to watch them before games and to see them so fucking shattered after the game. It's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
As coaches, and imagine being Gus. I'm only just sort of from the outside in.
Yeah.
Imagine being Ciro. Yeah. Imagine being these guys who are riding this wave with him, right? Trying to make them better humans, better players, better everything. And we're just not coming up with the results. But we're on that fucking way.
I feel sorry for Reedy, man.
Yeah, man. They're busting their fucking asses.
He busts his guts out every week.
But if you don't want to be there, you're not going to be there.
Well, this is a way of not being there. If they end up finding out who this is,
People talk, man. People talk, and if you're that guy, you won't be there next year.
Yeah, you're going to get found out. Moving on to the Sharks versus Knights. We actually watched this game together, Mace. Thanks for dinner last night too.
Worries.
Cooked up the fucking meatballs of doom. Fucking how good. And apparently Lenny's got a new little brother, or big brother.
The best, mate.
The Sharks won that game 32-6. It was a good battle for the first half, and then the Knights really kicked away.
6-6 for a while, wasn't it?
Yeah, 6-6 for a long period of the time. Sharks are much improved. I know they ended up getting blown out 32-6, and Knights sort of went bang bang, but no Nico Hines for the Sharks, no Jackson Hastings for the Knights, and I really think a big part of the reason why we chose the Knights was the Knights were playing at home, McDonald's James Stadium.
Yeah, look at that.
And
what a sight.
The crowd got behind them.
What a sight. some really bad reads, some scary sort of stuff defensively, right? We thought their left edge was really bad. Their right edge got exposed. Like Bradman Best was like, they just...
That left edge has been carving a lot of teams up, though.
Yeah, it's a great edge.
Yeah.
But like, there's a lot of those plays that defensively, if they had to work from the middle, and they could have easily solved that. They could have easily solved it.
Which one, the Kalen try or the Bradman Best tries?
Bradman Best tries. Like if you break those things down at video and you're like, if you do your job, you do your job and your job. If everyone does their job, you solve that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that was probably more disappointing. I was watching that going, fuck, you can't get smacked like that. Because fucking Knights, when they're on, that whole crowd, that energy, I've played there before in positions like that, you fucking feel unbeatable.
We said a couple of weeks ago, Knights are arguably the most informed team now.
It's scary,
right?
man.
Probably just, it's Broncos, the Knights, now with the little blemish that the Panthers have got on their schedule. Got to give him credit. Shout out to Adam O'Brien. The mail was he was done before that Bulldogs game. 66-0. We were hearing he was done. Like they were going to.
Yeah, we heard.
It was potentially going to be Holbrook.
We're on the same amount of wins. We're on 5 wins each.
It was potentially going to be Holbrook.
Have they gone on
That's
8?
right.
An 8. We're on 5 wins each. They come out, put 66 of the best on us, and they haven't turned back.
And even the week after, they wanted to sack him, and they're like, all right, we can't sack him now, 66.
As I said, like I had a beer with him in the preseason, right?
Yeah.
So I sort of like I was never going to come on in and go sack him. I'll never do that to coaches anyway.
Yeah.
But I'm like, I fucking know. I know, but I'm like, I know that his heart's in the right place, and he thinks the way all the coaches are, and he loves Newcastle, and he really embraces it. And I'm like, be a fucking shame to let him go. He's done all the hard work.
Yeah.
He's just come up short a couple of times, right? You've got to win a playoff. You got to win one. He can't go into this semi and get out straight away. He needs to win.
One out. Especially he's going to be at McDonald Jones.
Got to win.
That's why he's got to rest all his players.
Rest them all. Everyone's coming back at the right time. Saifidi brothers and everyone like that. Thompson, I think he's a young prop, great player. He's really good. You've got a well-balanced team, man.
Well, you were saying...
I might fuck around and just get to a prelim.
Yep.
Like 2013 when we did that.
Yep.
We went on that run. It was 10 years ago.
I think the Sharks can bounce back. I think they beat the Raiders next week, and they also lock in a home final. And therefore the Raiders
will be out straight away.
Will miss out top 8. Yeah, Sharks.
I think Sharks will be out straight away. I don't think especially after that.
Yeah.
I mean, I know their best player was missing, but I was just really worried about the defensive reads on the edge. Well, pretty poor.
Guess what? What about this scenario? If the Sharks win, they knock the Raiders out. So then they would have to play either the Cowboys, Roosters, or Rabbitohs. Raiders this week.
Oh, shit.
So the Sharks play Raiders. They beat the Raiders. Raiders are out. 2 teams come out of the 8th, 9th, 10th position. It'll either be the Cowboys or the Rabbitohs and Roosters.
Thank fuck you're on this podcast because I would get so confused.
Yeah, so...
I get it. I get what you're saying.
There is some validity in the Sharks losing this game.
Oh, so you reckon it was
Raiders jumped them.
The fix was in.
No, well, the Raiders will jump them, go to 6. They play the Raiders instead of having to play the Cowboys or the Roosters or the Rabbitohs at home.
Fitzy's got it all planned.
It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. But, yeah, that would be a conversation.
It's been mad last round.
You wouldn't have. No, you can't have that. You couldn't do that.
No, never.
We'll see what happens anyway with the teams coming up, and we'll attack it again on preview.
Right. See you Wednesday.